I mean, I think industry like changes, and we kind of see that with a kind of I like to take deep tech, not the deep tech, defense tech, as an example of how fast things are going. For example, just a few weeks ago, DO, DOD awarded a company that's 12 months old with a contract that's more than 200 million. And we already see this in yeah, and we already see this in space. We see some startups like Lunar Outpost getting the contracts. And I think
Yeah.
it kind of there are a lot of factors that play in. So first one is moon race, then second is space budgets going up year by year on average. I think 20%. That's what we've been counting. Golden Dome 60% goes to space. Also cheaper launch costs, and I think in terms of policy, two very important things. First is new NASA administrator Isaacman with his Athena doctrine. I recommend you to read through it because
Hmm.
it's kind of changing the way we looked at NASA and how NASA will perform. And also Trump Executive Order 14369. Uh, so basically, these two last ones kind of changed the industry. So Isaacman proposed that they're not going to award one company with $1 or $2 billion contract. There will be multiple winners, and that's what we see with Lunar Outpost.
Yep.
It's actually funny because I was looking at that time, maybe it was like 2 or 3 months ago. I was looking at Intuitive Machine stock, and when Lunar Outpost got their contract for Lunar Rover, the stock went down
Yeah.
a lot. And yeah, I think there will be a lot of changes. New startups getting money quick, faster, easier. These contracts will be uh, fixed price, so not going to be cost plus. And speaking of Trump executive order, I believe it's also a big thing because he announced that we need 50 billion in private markets. Will help to do this by bringing new investors, and I think that's what's happening. At least that was what's happening at last like 6 months when we see a lot of capital flowing into the private markets in space tech.
Can, I think you kind of just answered this, but maybe go a little further. By the way, Space TV Net, hi, nice to see you. I'd love to chat with you. I think we connected on LinkedIn, and I'd like to talk to you about that. Kind of interesting what you're doing. But can you go even Ivan a little bit farther about why NASA, why the Athena document, why Isaacman? Because we all think that's a pretty big change, and then Isaacman is
He's a
talking
founder.
about 30 missions to the moon, 30 missions to the moon, and maybe this is wishful thinking, but because both blue and red like him, we're hoping he survives uh, an administration transition. Most NASA administrators don't, but some of them do, and he might be one of them. So, within that context, what are you thinking about NASA now? What's different for you?
Well, I've been looking at the budget changes and budget request changes, and I think budget request from Isaacman like when he just stepped into the office, um, the budget was cut. It was much smaller than what he got eventually, and a lot of the money that was flowing into science and testing and research was just basically thrown out of the budget, and everything just goes to the rockets, to building, to I don't know how to call it, but to real stuff which we can see on orbit in upcoming years. And I think this is really important because if such big agencies are trying to make things faster, and we also see it in DoD, and we also see it in Space Force,
Mhm.
and we also see it in Air Force Research Lab. That means that the opportunities for startups, for new companies, will eventually appear, and more of them will appear in upcoming years. And yeah, I think US is just speeding up in terms of in terms of getting money to the people and budgets. And it looks kind of similar to me to what happened in the Cold War. And hopefully that, and I think that will continue as we see that deglobalization trend. The Europe is trying to get away. There are not more many friends, and yeah, US just has to move faster in order to compete and win the competition against China. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
Cool. Okay, Ivan, we have about 3 minutes left. We'd like you to go a little bit into grab your crystal ball and put on your thinking hat and say what does this world look like to you 5 years from now and 25 years from now?
Oh, it's a tough question. I think I can answer to what's going to happen in 5 years. I think we're going to land on the moon and we will have a mm, lunar base. Yeah. I think the space exploration will become a thing. And but I think the only way, and I think critical point is now whether US will continue to spend money, whether new startups will continue to receive this, and whether we will see orbital data centers to appear in like upcoming 3 to 5 years. If this happens, well, it's definitely a bright future, and space is gonna accelerate. But if that won't happen, the next 25 years might not be looking that good, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
So I think this 5-year term is really, really important. If we'll see a lot of developments, if we'll see a lot of budget growth, if we'll see lunar base, if this moon race with China continues, then it's a great thing. And we'll see something unique, deep space travel in 25 years. If that won't happen, well, it may slow down the development and maybe we will, I don't know, be in the same place in 10 years where we are right now. So, yeah, I'm a bit skeptical, but yeah, nobody knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And on that, Ivan Turchak, thank you so much for being with us. Всего хорошего. Очень приятно. Well, hopefully we'll see you again real soon, and we'll talk about the next greatest and wonderful things you guys are doing.